All right. It says we are now live. Hopefully we are. Let's see if we've got anybody showing up here on the count. You guys hearing me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. We'll give everybody a second to get in here.
Yeah, it's live.
All right. My firecracker here says we're live. She monitors the comments for me so I can pay attention to you guys and stuff. So since we're live, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. If they have questions, they can put them in there, and Firecracker may, kind of try and keep track of them and let me know so we can ask them, try and answer people's questions. If we don't cover it in what we talk about, we'll circle around to those questions at the end. But so I want to thank Kyle and Jeff from getting on the stream here and helping us and sharing information about Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. I want everybody who watches this video to share it on social media. I kind of thought everybody knew that Bikes, Blues, and BBQ had changed the dates to October 5th and 8th, but apparently that message has not gotten to everybody. I had someone call me asking if I was going to be there next weekend, and I'm like, that's not when Bikes, Blues, and BBQ is. So they are scrambling to change their reservations and things like that. So we want to make sure everybody knows that the dates have changed to October 5th through the 8th. So if everybody can share this out, that'll help not just me, but it helps other people. It helps people make sure they know about the event. It helps Jeff and Kyle and all the vendors and all the charities that are supported by these events and stuff. So it's important to get that message out there. So which one of you guys want to go first?
I like Kyle. He's pretty.
Oh, man. Well, hey, thanks for having me. So we got, our normal thing going on at Pig Trail Harley-Davidson. We're 1 mile east of exit 86 on I-49. And if you go to our Facebook page, we've got a few different flyers out there. So we got the one, it's kind of got like everything going on. We got, our inventory. We're going to be moving out next Friday under the tents. So all of our motorcycles are moving out to give our showroom more room for our merchandise selection. We're bringing in up to 75% off merchandise. So I'll have some great buys in there. We are going to release some wicked custom builds. We got some really cool paint sets from Brian Loker. Loker, for those of you that don't know, paints majority of Covington Customs bikes and does some stuff for Falcon's Fury out in Georgia. Phenomenal painter. And then Scott Fight's been custom painting a few for us. Let's see. We got some great vendors coming in under our drag specialties tent. We got Custom Dynamics, Saddleman Seats, Legend Suspension. They'll all have representatives from their companies there. Inside, we'll have Cena helmets and Muck Off. Muck Off's really cool. That's a waterless bike cleaner. And then outside on the lot, we've got Mustang seats. S&S is bringing their 18-wheeler this year, so we're super excited to have a bigger presence from S&S. And then Chromeworks is bringing their big rig this year, so another great brand that will have a bigger representation at this year's rally on our lot. And then there's just tons of other vendors coming. If you look at our vendor list, we got over about 50 vendors that'll be on our Rogers lot. We don't have the exact list for Eureka yet, so Eureka is going to be a better presence. Another exciting thing, last year our beer garden kind of failed in Eureka, so we were a little bummed. But Bikes, Blues, and BBQ and the official merch tent are running the beer garden this year, so they're getting a stage built. We've got all of our music lined up. And it's going to be a really nice, like, tinted beer garden with a bar. So Eureka is going to have a whole new dynamic. Sorry, I know I'm rambling on. There's a lot to cover here.
That's all right. So you mentioned a few vendors that were not on the vendor list I put up a second ago. So I don't know if I didn't find that right list, but if you send me a link to that, I'll make that sure I share that on my Riding in the Ozarks page and then the Riding in the Ozarks group, which, by the way, if you don't know, I have a group called Riding in the Ozarks, and that's for a community for anybody to share any events they've got, whether it's, if Tommy from Bikes, Blues, and BBQ wants to share their band stuff in there. They can share it in there. You, Kyle, anybody, just to help, have a place for people that are focused on the Ozarks to be able to find events and things that are going on.
Absolutely.
Hey, Tommy, welcome.
Sorry I'm late. Internet is not great, but we're here.
You sound good.
So you got more you want to talk about, Kyle? I know you've got some rides and stuff going on.
Yeah, so we've got a legacy ride benefiting All Kids Bike, which super organization. The Honorary one's hosting that, and we'll have some special guests: Jesse James Dupree from Jackal, Paul Tuttle Sr., Rainwater Holden Sexton brought him in, and then Rusty Wallace. He's one of our vendors. He builds custom bikes now. The NASCAR driver.
Yeah, I know who Rusty is. My dad used to, chase him around the neighborhood. When he was a little kid, he actually lived in my hometown, 2 doors down from my dad's house.
Yeah, and he does a big charity ride every year across the country. So basically, they're raising money for grant money to go to schools. So these schools will get Strider bikes and pedal kits and the curriculum to teach elementary school children how to ride a bicycle. So the stats are that 1 in 4 kids will ride a bicycle now, which is super low. And if they don't ride a bicycle, the chances of them enjoying a motorcycle in the future is slim to none. So it's a great charity for that and to keep the two-wheel dream alive. So we're excited about that one. That's a new deal this year. That should be an annual ride.
Cool. I know, a lot of dealers are getting into programs with Strider to get kids on them. And I think that's great for our community. The younger you can start them, the more motorcyclists we can develop.
Absolutely. Well, it's a great sport. We all enjoy it. It's good for all kinds of things.
I know you got a big thing going on Saturday night. Have you figured out what time that thing's going to be yet?
You're probably talking about Tommy's deal, right?
No, I'm talking about the Pan America.
Yeah, they're giving that away at the main stage in downtown Rogers.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to be at the dealership this year.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a great question.
Well, now that's the kind of stuff I'm hoping to get out in this, so people know where to go for what things and stuff. So that's going to be given out downtown Rogers. And do we have a time for that yet, or are we still?
That will be going up about 8:30. You should give it away around 9 o'clock.
Hello?
I can hear you, Jeff.
Mike,
I think Mike froze up.
well, Tommy, you there?
Yes, sir.
Tommy, hey, so I think that's a thing. If everybody doesn't know, this is Tommy from Bikes Blues and BBQ. He's actually the director of the program. Tommy, why don't you just go through the list of events that you do have right now and what your deals are? Because like that deal was kind of confusing. Is that the things that Bikes Blues and BBQ or whatever, the exact times or any knowledge you can put out there? Why don't you go ahead and list the things that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. At the downtown main stage at the Rail Yard Live, we will be hosting bands on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, we'll start the first band about 5 o'clock. Friday, the first band will go up at 4. Saturday is going to be an all-day event with karaoke kicking off in the morning and then just going on all day from there. Kind of culminated by giving away the Pan Am with Jesse James Dupree and the Motor Company, followed by closing out with Dead Metal Society. Pretty solid band. Have a great following every year. Out at the convention center where they're doing the demo rides for Harley-Davidson and BMW, Progressive Choctaw Casino will all have great displays out there. Rainwater, Holton, Sexton, Law Tigers, all the normal people that you expect to see will be out there. They'll pretty much operate from 9 a.m. until about 8-ish p.m. Every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we will also be programming at the Walmart AMP, which is directly across from the Rogers Convention Center. And they will mirror those times. A lot of lifestyle vendors there, a lot of corporate style vendors. We've got a pretty diverse lineup of. Hey, Mike. A lot of,
Glad you guys carried on.
well, Jeff's done this before, so he coached us right along. So
I was getting it from my phone, but then my internet came back up. So thank you guys for holding on here for me.
yeah, we'll have anyone from some of the more Walmart corporate type or large corporate type of vendors out there, all the way down to knife makers, hat shops, whatever you normally expect is what you're going to get. Food offerings this year are going to be a little bit more diverse. Anything from pizza to Mexican food, and just working backwards from there.
Hey, Tommy, I'm gonna ask you a question. Mic up a little bit. So the barbecue is really trying to roll out the carpet this year. I know you guys are. I mean, none of us knew what was going to happen in the world a couple of years ago. You guys had some things you had to deal with and stuff like that. But you guys are really putting out a quality show along with Kyle and everybody down the hill. We call y'all down the hill from up here. And we just really wanted to let people know Bikes Barbecue on. It's always been on. It's the kind of rally that it's a people's rally to me, Tommy. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but this is the kind of place where you come and meet long-term friends. You know what I mean? I think that's why Pig Trail does so good with their sales during this month, because they're a very family-oriented company. I think you're a very good representative of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. You try to make this about people, not so much about things or promotions. I mean, you create events that everybody can enjoy. I think you've done a great job, and we just want to do everything we can to let the people know Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is on the 5th through the 9th, Mike. Through the 9th.
Yeah, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is a brand, right? And it's going to live on well past I'm gone. And they have. I actually have been involved with the rally for 15 years. And so, whenever that next person or that next sucker comes along that gets to sit in my seat, you want to give them the good building blocks for whatever. This rally does not exist without people attending it, and people don't attend it if the community doesn't wrap their arms around it. And so what you're seeing is, the Cathouse riding in the Ozarks, the Honor, and all these people are saying, hey, this is a great event that we need to get behind. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue has not had an event in 3 years. And so that doesn't mean the bills have not quit coming in for 3 years. And so we've really had to figure out how to tighten up the purse straps and do the best we can. So we're not playing bands on Wednesday because financially it didn't make a lot of sense to play bands on Wednesday in years past. So, we're just really trying to tighten up and offer a good quality offering and do what most people will enjoy. And then maybe in 2023, that's whenever you see the more expanded programming and, a larger scale operations and spreading out. The great thing about the city of Rogers, they've rolled out the red carpet to us. And so I really think the sky's the limit on that. What you're going to see 2022 Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is going to be a lot of the same vendors, a lot of the same activations as what you saw in 2019. We're going to have a little bit better entertainment. We're going to have a couple stunt riding outfits. There's going to be a lot of things going on that we're throwing our shoulder into, and hopefully build on that into 2023 when we can start getting, major regional, small national bands and just keep building on that building block.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to kind of clear up, Tommy, too, is so the farm out here in Eureka Springs is actually the host campground this year. And some people were confused about that, thinking, well, is it in Eureka Springs or it's Rogers? It's not really confusing at all. If you've been to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we're such short distances apart. It's really I've always called it a Northwest Arkansas rally. The farm's a great location out here in Eureka Springs. It offers a great deal. But the main events and attractions are down there in Rogers. It's right there by Kyle. It's actually made it much more consumer friendly. Eureka's always been what it is. This is the party town. This is where you bring your wife at night and hang out. I'm going to plug Eureka. That's what I do, folks. So with us having the campground here and the lodging facilities and stuff like that, we get a good piece of the business from Bikes Blues and BBQ, and we appreciate that very much. I mean, we really count on that rally, especially at the end of the year. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing down there, Tom, and it's great that you picked the farm to be the host campground. And maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the farm is owned by a dear friend of ours, John Walker. It's a great piece of property, and he's invited me out to it a million times. You know, I'm kind of in the event business, and it just never really worked out where schedules would align where I could get out to see it. And I finally made a little bit of time and kind of forced it into my schedule and went out there. And whenever you get out there, it is not at all what you're expecting. It's a well manicured, well maintained piece of little slice of heaven that is right off the highway, but you know, you don't know that it's right off the highway, and that's a glorious thing. It's easy in, easy out. It's convenient to the cat down there. It's an easy ride from Rogers. It's on one of the best ride routes that there is in Northwest Arkansas. So it made all the sense in the world. And anybody that knows John Walker, he's a wonderful human being, and he wants everybody to have a good time. And that's the important thing. Whenever we start aligning brands with all these other brands, do they share the same values that we do, that we want you to, not just come ride Arkansas 4 days out of the year. We want you to come ride Arkansas every chance you get, and stay and come back and enjoy all the things that make us click and make the Cathouse click 361 other days of the year.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Tom. Mike, your show, man. I'm done.
It's okay. And Tommy may have covered some of this, and if he did, he can just say I covered that. If not, I had a couple things I wanted to ask. So, or maybe he can clarify, because I know, like, me and a lot of my friends come from Missouri, and we know where certain things are, but we're not as familiar with Rogers because that's not where we've been going. But like I saw today, you guys put out a post about a poker run Friday and Saturday, and it said it starts at Walmart Amp. Me being the hillbilly I am, I don't know where the Walmart Amp. I don't know what that is. I did go do a little research because that's kind of my nature, but I thought it'd be maybe a good opportunity for you to tell people where that is, where that's, you know, if it's in Rogers, Fayetteville, you know, exactly. I know now, but some people may not know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get to put in a shameless plug here. So the Walmart Amp is actually a top 25 outdoor amphitheater in the nation. So it's one of the top performing amphitheaters around. And so if you'll stay tuned, watch us on Facebook. We actually have 2 sets of Co Wetzel tickets who's performing there on September 30th. We're going to give them away this week. So follow us there. Shameless plug. So the Walmart Amp is actually located right next to the Rogers Convention Center. It's just south of it. You can get to it by either exit 83 or exit 82. If you're going down the road and you see Top Golf, if you're going south, you've gone too far. If you're coming north, you're almost there. And so it is, it's a great facility. They just underwent a big renovation over the COVID shutdown. And so it's a great opportunity for us to partner with a brand that we already know, because that facility is owned by the Walton Arts Center, who we've partnered with for years. And so it's a good opportunity for us to partner with a known brand that we're going to be able to offer a good quality environment and good quality vendors and entertainment in that space.
So are there going to be, and that was one of the questions I saw. I went through some of the comments on the Facebook page where people had asked stuff. And one of them is, do we have a map of where the vendors are? And all the vendors are going to be at Pig Trail. And I from the comments I heard when I come back, sounds like you have vendors other places. But I hadn't seen anything on that officially yet posted anywhere.
Yeah, and so normally we don't put out a vendor map till 7 to 10 days out, because inevitably what happened to me on Friday always happens, and that's one of your major stakeholders says, hey, we've thought about it and we want to move from this location to that location. And so, we just don't want to put out bad information to anybody. And so usually 7 to 10 days out, we will have the maps out on social media and on our website, and along with good maps on how to get to each of the locations, and go from there. I mean, we're going to have the same people that we always have: the Choctaw Casino, the Progressive, the Harley-Davidson, Monster Energy drinks. All those people are still coming. They're just like everybody else. And I think I told the Honorary one the other day, I feel really good going into the rally now. You asked me that 4 or 5 weeks ago, I felt like we had way too many balls in the air to get way too committed. But it's hard whenever you're talking to these national brands to make them see the vision because they can't come in and see. So you're sending them pictures and photos and videos and whatever you can get, but until they get boots on the ground, it's hard for them to imagine a space activated. And so we've been very fortunate with Kyle helping us push on a few of the places that need pushing, and some board members leaning in. And I feel really, really good about the offering this year. You're not going to be disappointed if you come. That's the important thing to me, is that it is a good quality offering for everybody that shows up, whether it's 10 people or whether it's 100,000 people or 400,000 people. The word of mouth is your number one top form of advertising. And if I can get, most of the people that are here saying, hey, we had a great time, then they're going to drag 3 or 4 back with them the following year. So.
Well, and I think probably the reason people are asking these questions is because there hasn't been a rally the last couple of years, and because it's moving and everything just is a little more unknown, and they're not sure. Like I work on, and I'm actually chairman of a very small rally compared to what you're doing, 1,000 to 3,000 people. But I have some idea of what it takes on a much, much smaller scale. And I'm sure you're working night and day year round to put this thing together. And I appreciate all the work you're doing. And I know a lot of us do that realize it and stuff. But I think, even a post that says, hey, there will be vendor maps coming, there will be this coming, there will be that coming. We are going to have those things. Because I think a lot of people are like, what's changing? Is it going to be different because it's changed location? Are they going to have the room to do that? Or are they not going to have the room to do that? Because for people like me coming from Missouri, we don't really know what Rogers has to offer for space or for events. And so we're kind of in the dark here. So I really appreciate, what you're doing and that stuff. And that's why I'm asking these questions, is because these are questions for me, not knowing the event as well. I don't know. I saw the post about Paul Sr. and the rainwater hole, and it says vendor area. But then I'm like, the only vendor area I know of right now is Pig Trail. So is it going to be a Pig Trail, or is there going to be another vendor area? And those are all the questions and stuff. And that may, if it's not known yet exactly, that's cool. I'm just trying to
The areas are definitely screwed down, right? Like we've had them since the beginning of time, because I had to go have something to show the vendors and the sponsors on where they're going to come. The big question is who's going to what space.
Yeah. So maybe even just a post letting people know, hey, we will have multiple vendor areas. They're not just a Pig Trail. Because I see those questions being asked and I didn't see them being answered.
Yeah. So our social media is all turned over to a marketing company. The board hired put on a marketing company. And so I'll absolutely bring it up to them. I know they did put out some videos of the various different areas to show that they were vending areas and kind of what we were doing out there. Because they had to send them to me to have them approved. So I know that the videos are out there and some other things. So we'll get some overall maps out in the next couple days.
That'd be great. I mean, I went back through your page. I saw some of this, and I went back for several months. I didn't see anything that answered it for me, but maybe I missed it. And that's the problem with social media. You've got to watch with Facebook now. When you post a video, they'll ask you if you want to leave it forever or 30 days.
Yeah.
If you don't change it, they'll delete it after 30 days on you. So there a lot of things can happen there. And I understand the struggles with getting the message on social media. And that's why I appreciate you getting on here and helping us get the answers for people. Did you guys get a chance to mention who your official hotel is? Because I want to make sure we give them props too.
Yeah. So the official hotel is the Embassy Suites. They're a great brand. It's a great quality hotel. Because of my other job, I've probably spent more nights there over the summer than I have at my house. But it always, got a great breakfast and a great bar in the hotel. They're not going to be the cheapest in town. It is what it is, but it's a good quality offering. And, when you stay at an Embassy Suites, you don't have to worry about the quality of beds and quality of linens and all that.
The air conditioner's going to work.
Yeah, all those things. So we're blessed that they aligned with us. We're blessed that they allowed us to activate in that convention center space because that's going to be big for the rally year over year over year. And we wanted to try to activate at the Benton County Fairgrounds. We've been out there before. It's a great property. It's huge. It's sprawling, room to grow out. But they had already signed a contract back in 2021 with Vintage Market Days that cover this, which plug for Vintage Market Days. It's super cool shopping experience if you want to get out there doing it. But we just could not make the two worlds meld together for this year. But I suspect 23, 24, you're going to see some growth out into that Benton County Fairground area. And the goal is to never overwhelm the city of Rogers. But, it's an opportunity to have another pod out there to go visit.
So a couple quick things for you still. I saw a post about the bike and car show, and I asked the question, and so did someone else, car and truck show, but you didn't mention bikes. Is there going to be a bike show this year?
So
or is that something they're going to hold for next year?
Yeah, most people don't know, but Earl Stokes, who ran Stokes Air Battle of the Bikes for years, his sweet wife, Deanne, passed away. And so Preston, his son, is working through some stuff. He kind of got a late jump. And so I will have a drop dead day. Go, Mike. I will have that answer by Thursday at the latest, and we'll immediately put it out on social media. Like I say, the death was kind of very much unexpected, and it's kind of put that family reeling a little bit. And so, you want to be respectful and give everybody time to grieve, and not be that dude that's standing over them and be like, "You still going to host the bike show?"
Yeah, well, and I get it. I would never want anybody to pressure anybody in that situation. When we saw the bike and truck announcement, or the car and truck announcement, we all asked, like, is there going to be a bike show? And it was crickets on social media. And again, that's what I'm hoping we get answers here today. So it's a possibility. We just don't know. We're waiting.
Yeah, I feel pretty good that it's going to happen.
And I think it helps people know that you're trying to have that. It's not that you didn't want to. It just may not work out this year. And I don't know if you guys covered this, but I saw this, and that was something I didn't know about. But you guys have the barbecue contest is on Saturday.
Yeah, so it's we did the barbecue contest in downtown Rogers in 18, 19, and I think they hosted it last year during the event as well. And so it's the Frisco Inferno Barbecue Festival. It is a great opportunity to get out and see so many community members. Number one, number two, get some good barbecue, and yeah, they've hosted that has been alive since 2017, and it should be a great experience for everybody. So, professionally ran, professionally operated.
So for somebody like me that doesn't know the area, when all these things say downtown Rogers and that's all they say, is that really going to be like somewhere around the amphitheater, or is that
will be at the that'll be the Rail Yard Live stage. It'll actually be on First Street, which is right adjacent to the Rail Yard Live stage, where bands will be playing all week. So the barbecue contest will take place on First between Poplar and Cherry, and the Rail Yard Live stage is between First and Arkansas. Between Poplar and Cherry, so it'll all be right there.
If you can find the music, you can find it.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But like I said, I'm lost when it comes to Rogers. I passed Pig Trail, get on the interstate, went south to Fayetteville, and came back to go that way to Eureka Springs. So I didn't really ever explore Rogers, and so these things are all new to me, and I'm sure they're going to be new to a lot of other people. So,
yeah, Rogers has hosted Bikes on the Bricks for the last 5 years, and it's been really growing in popularity a lot. Thanks to what Kyle and Paul and the team are doing there at Pig Trail, but it's gonna continue to grow and be a great thing. Parking woes will be a lot less in downtown Rogers area than they were on Dixon Street, because number one, it's not a hill, and number two, they've got about 3 times the amount of on-street parking down through there. And so there's a lot of great things that are going to go on and help what we're already trying to do. I always get asked whenever I'm out and about, how are you replacing that Dixon Street nightlife or that Dixon Street culture? And, Rogers is growing, and it's becoming more and more and more entertainment friendly, especially in the downtown area. And so I'll spend a little bit of time down there going to the Shire, the 5.6, Levi's Gastroplex. They've just got so many great, cool either dive bars or TX Barbecue House is doing an activation during the event. They want the bikers to come and have a good time. And so what I'm seeing is you've got a bunch of businesses that are activating in conjunction with the rally. And so it's going to be a fresh new look all the way around.
Yeah, I'll just step in. The downtown Rogers is super unique. And that stage area it's phenomenal. It's a huge stage area. So I think it's going to be a big upgrade, and then the people that like the Dixon Street feel, man, go see Jeff at the Cathouse down there, because that strip right there on in Eureka, it's better than Dixon Street in my opinion. Dixon's cool,
How much, bro?
but Eureka is another. I mean, I think this year is going to be exciting with the moves, and so for all of y'all watching, get ready to have a good time and see some new stuff.
Yeah, I'll take it from there since Kyle kind of mentioned us. So Eureka has always been a part of the main show in Rogers or Fayetteville, wherever you want to call it. To me, this rally has always been about people, and that's the good thing about Eureka, because we are a small town. All the buildings are close together. It's really two main strips here. You really get to know the people around you. I mean, we've been doing this for years now. The crowd has grown and grown up here because people like to get out, and it's a 30-minute ride up the hill. You can go to all the concerts in the daytime, the nighttime. Come up here, get something to eat in Eureka, the Rockin' Pig, or come to the Cathouse, or we have some of the finest restaurants in the country up here. We have some bars and restaurants everywhere. We're kind of geared for this kind of thing. We're going to go out all out this year. We've got bands starting on Thursday, which will come out with our band schedule this weekend. We'll have bands from Thursday to Sunday. We'll have girls coming in from Sturgis, bartenders. We have bikini bike washes. Switchback Boyams is going big out here. Rockin' Pig's going to be doing stuff up there with Kyle at Pig Trail and the Rockin' Pig. Legends, of course, is going to be your nighttime bar to go to here. Nick's across the street. And I also want to leave out two. I don't want to leave out two people because, Fayetteville.
Did you pause for you guys too?
Not a bad, but yeah. Well, it's kind of sorry, man, because Georgia's down on Dixon Street. That used to be the staple place to go during Bikes and Blues and Barbecue. I'm probably still going to go by there. Art's Place in Fayetteville, one of the best bars, best cheeseburgers in town. There's a million other. Kyle knows what I'm talking about. I've been out to lunch with them down there. So, I mean, this has always been a Northwest Arkansas rally. Eureka Springs is going to be off the hook this year, especially with having the farm, be the camping area. So we're going to grow this year. We're going to always be at the top of the entertainment. Rogers, Bricks on Rogers, it's a great area. I know exactly what Kyle's saying. It's probably more friendlier parking than Dixon Street ever was. I think Tom mentioned that. All the schedule, over the next any rally I've ever been to, if you look at what's going on the Wednesday or Thursday or the Monday before the rally, everybody's going to have their information out. It'll be set in stone by then. So make your reservations. The entertainment's going to be booked. I don't think there's any people that have ever been to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue in the last 20 years that I've known about it that can leave and say, hey, man, I didn't have a good time. Or maybe I didn't get a great bike from Kyle. I know Kyle comes out. Kyle, you got plenty of inventory down there?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and for y'all that don't know out there, I go to all the rallies all across the country, and Kyle is one of the most stocked, family friendly. Their service department is top notch. I mean, I've been in there and without the service guys even know me, go in there and get service immediately. If they couldn't get me, they tell me. They work with me to get me back on the road, and I think that's something that a lot of dealerships have lost. It's not always about the dollar. Me and Kyle did a thing during another rally that we do together. At the beginning of the year, we gave $10,000 to a veteran. I called Kyle at the last minute. I said, hey, will you help me with this? He didn't hesitate, jumped right on the ball. He's very supportive of veterans. veterans are some of the biggest supporters of this rally, and I want to make sure that we don't leave that out in anything like that. None of us could be doing what we're doing right now without the support of our veterans. So along with that, we're going to have Adam Sandoval up here, sponsored by Law Tigers. They're a big part of our deal up here. We're going to have a bunch of other YouTubers. We'll come out with all that information, and it's just something you guys got to come see. I mean, Eureka is a blast. We have some of the best roads in the country. If you haven't been to Arkansas to ride the roads that we have to offer here, I think we're ambassadors of just some of the best roads in the country. You know what I mean? No, everybody got caught off guard by this thing that happened a couple years ago. Kyle and us have kind of rolled with everything and brought this thing to you guys every year. Tom he wants to come out and make this thing the best rally in the country. This is one of, Tom, you can probably know this better than I do. I think you're the number 3 biggest rally and biggest charity rally in the country, right?
Yeah, we are the biggest charity in the country, and we go back and forth between second and third. You know, we're not so naive to believe that we probably didn't do a little bit of brand damage in 2021 whenever we had to punt. But you know, when you're the king of no lands and you're requiring other people's cooperation for your event to go off, you better make damn sure that the other people are going to cooperate. And that's what we have now in the city of Rogers, is that we have a known quantity that we really feel very strongly about, that we're not going to get that rug pulled out from underneath us 30 days out. And so, you know, this is just the beginning. This is the ground floor. And, you know, things are what they are for, you know, the past years. And we're not, you know, I love that Jeff didn't even mention the name because we're, you know, we're moving beyond and we're moving past that. But it was hard on a lot of entertainment driven businesses, you know, and I'm glad, Jeff, that you mentioned Brian Crown and George's Majestic Lounge down there. Brian sits on my board. And so just to put out there for the crowd, you know, the thought that went into going to Rogers, you know, I mean, nobody can really question what he's thinking or where he's going, because, you know, there's no telling how many dollars he just spun out of his register to put the rally on a footing where it's going to survive for many years to come after all of us are gone and out of this business. So,
well, you know, I tell people all the time when they talk about, you know, you guys canceling the rally, it's like you have no idea what it takes to do something like this. And 30 days out, you cannot, you know, you can't move it somewhere else. It's just not possible. The little rally we did, we had to cancel 1 year, and you know, I have a small idea of what it takes, and you know, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. I think we just need to help get the information out to people so they know what to expect. I think people are a little anxious because of the last years. They're like, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And this is a great way of getting that out there and just letting people know that, hey, there's more info coming. It's still on the way. I have one big question I want to ask. And if you don't know, you don't know, but do you anticipate the date staying in October? Or are you going to try and go back to your original date, or do you have any idea yet?
So, and I'll give you a brief history lesson that you may not want to know. And then, because it plays into the answer to that question. So the dates that we have always traditionally been on, the LPGA straddled those dates. They targeted them last year and this year. And the problem with Northwest Arkansas and any region as a whole is there's only so much labor in that market, besides the hotels, motels, restaurants, and all the other things that get overwhelmed. So although the LPGA doesn't overwhelm a lot of the tourism pieces as far as hotels and restaurants, it does overwhelm the electrical services that we use. They do overwhelm the amount of labor that our vendors can get in to help at all set up and tear down. And so we are in constant communication with that group that produces and promotes the LPGA. We would like to see them move back to June, but they may or may not. You know, that's between them and their sponsors and all the things that they're doing. The reason we always targeted that weekend is because it was a long-term agreement between the University of Arkansas and Texas A&M that they were going to play in Dallas that weekend at a neutral site. And so we knew year after year that weekend was going to be open because there was not going to be a home game because Razorback football will overwhelm the hotels in Northwest Arkansas. And so we're going to sit down and look at the football schedule moving forward. And so it will either be the dates that we are on right now or the weekend before, however they fall. It could fall funny where it'll be the last weekend and the first day of October, or it'll fall like it did this year, 5 through 8, something similar to that.
Well, I a few years ago, when you guys were at the earlier date, we used to take and go to Bike Fest at Lake of the Ozarks. That's closed for me. And then we'd take the whole week and we'd go ride Arkansas and then hit BBB. And we called it a bikecation and stuff. And so now we're doing Thursday, Friday short vacations to get both events in and stuff. And, but I think that, that event's doing really well. I had a lot of positive feedback from people that came to it last weekend. I had people from out of state that are saying they'd rather come to the Ozarks and ride than go to Sturgis right now. And they like the fact that, like at BBB and at Lake of the Ozarks, they're not getting a special menu with the special pricing just for the rally, and stuff. And so I think that, things are going to grow in the Midwest here in this area and for both rallies and stuff. And I think that's great. And if the events are closer, then you might even get people that take a week or 2 week vacation and attend both. I had somebody who was talking about that and did kind of what we did and stuff, but however it works out, I just want to make sure I'm the first to know so I can get on my calendar at work.
Yeah, Mike. And you know how things go. The moment that you step aside one year or 2 years, you become irrelevant in the area, and that's unfortunately kind of where the motorcycle rally landed. And even to get those dates, we ended up bumping off a music festival that was going to take place at the farm, and Corvette weekend that was going to take place at Eureka with the Cathouse and all that. So I always tell everybody that the entertainment business is a finely tuned ecosystem, and one event moving or targeting somebody else's dates can really upset the apple cart. And so just because there's a limited amount of resources for large events in any region, not just Northwest Arkansas, but if you were hosting Cowboys football on the same weekend you were trying to host a World Series game at Ranger Stadium, you would overwhelm Dallas quite easily. So it's unfortunate, but we firmly believe that we're going to try to land back on that September date. But if not, the weather's still just as good 1 week later.
I just want to say something about that date. I go to rallies all over the country, Daytona, Laconia, Sturgis, all that. After the Daytona fire.
You're freezing up on us, Jeff.
We were getting some negative comments about switch the dates. Are you there?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Sorry, but you were getting something. This rally was in a week of the dates that it always has been. I mean, it's not that big a deal. The weather's going to be great. The weather in the north that people are concerned about northerners not being able to come down, is going to be great for them this year. It's not even an issue. This rally is about the people. It's not about the dates. There's going to be plenty of entertainment here for everybody. All of us are doing a great job, I think, of putting out the best product we can for the customers that we've had here for 20 years. Tom, I want to commend you for fighting through everything you did for that rough time in history we went through that no one else has had to deal with. Kyle, man, thanks for sticking with us the last couple of years, and we've done a great thing. I know your numbers are great from last year. Ours were great from last year. We want to get the information to know we're going to support Bikes, Blues, and BBQ until for the next 20 years, because it's a great rally. It's a great place for people to get together. It's great barbecue. It's a great Harley dealership behind you. It's great supporters and sponsors. Up here at the Cathouse, it's the day of wild women and great bands and good food. That's what we do. You know what I mean? And we're going to do it well. And we just love having partners like yourselves. And Tom, let's just rock it out this year.
Well, we appreciate it, Jeff. It's such a hurdle to overcome, especially after last year and just to speak to, trying to move the event, there were some last minute calls to a few properties. There's very few properties that can handle what Bikes Blues and BBQ is because it is so large.
Yes.
And we did make some calls, but unfortunately when things go the way they did for the rally last year, a lot of the other properties are either booked up or, they don't want to go against what the locals are saying or what some of the city leadership are saying, just so they don't get themselves in the hot seat with the city leadership. And so it's not that we didn't try. We made a lot of calls, but at the end of the day, you just get to a point where you're too hot to touch and you got to punt. So,
well, and I think, to add to that, Tommy, you had to reprogram this whole event compared to Bomb Stadium. Dixon Street was kind of like turnkey, so every year you may have changed some vendors, but you had all the infrastructure built, dialed in. And this year you've had to, you knew locations, but you still had a lot of pieces you had to work through. So, some of the communication wasn't as easy to get out earlier this year in respect to that. But, and
we haven't done this. We haven't done it in 3 years. And so a lot of people forget, it's always later coming out, because the one thing that I don't want to put out is that something's going to happen and then it not fall through, or that something's not going to happen and then it ends up happening. And so I really feel like, not putting out a true story would do more damage to me than, the information coming out a little late. And with Ocean City just going down, just made it through Ocean City. And, we're still in a prime position between Ocean City and Biketoberfest, and then closing out the season at Galveston for everybody hitting those major hubs. And so it's a great opportunity for the rally to stay good position moving forward. And for the next 10 years, like I say, things are going to change in Northwest Arkansas. It is what it is. It's one of the fastest growing communities in the country. And so from that regard, there's no way to be static. This is giving the rally a great opportunity to retool and give everybody a fresh new look, because to your point, Kyle, it had grown a little bit stagnant throughout the years. Some things that I could help, some things that I couldn't help. And so to combat that stagnation, the move to Rogers has been, a godsend for us.
Well, I want to just say, as somebody, I came probably 25 years or 22 years ago or something. It was one of the first few years that when it just started. And I didn't get to come back for 19 years, and we started coming back a few years ago. And we had a blast. We loved the event. Dixon Street was fun. I know you guys will, we'll just hang out on Eureka Springs at the Cathouse. If we can't hang out on Dixon Street for that nightlife scene. I love Jeff's place. I love Switchback. It's a great town. We go there for Spring Fling. I think it's amazing how well such a small town can host so many people, and everybody does a great job. We're big fans of Kyle and Trail Harley-Davidson. We drove 220 miles back in February to buy a bike from him, So that's just a testament to what we think of them and the service they provide and the customer service and the way they treat people. And, I tell you, everybody, I'm bringing a big group. We've booked out 4 or 5 hotel rooms in Eureka Springs, 6-8 months ago. As soon as you put the date out there, that day, Kyle can tell you, I had my hotel rooms booked. I was talking to him about places and things and stuff. And as soon as it went public, we got our place, and our friends got places there. And, every year I just try and bring more people because I love it. I love riding the pig trail. I love the area. I like supporting charities. We do a lot of that on our off weekends, and just small ones, big ones, whatever we can do and stuff. But I understand how important this rally is to the community there in Northwest Arkansas. And that's why we've came the last few years, even though there wasn't an official rally, because I know a lot of those businesses depend on it. And I have been encouraging people when they say, oh, well, it was canceled. We're like, go anyway. Go anyway. You will have a good time. People want you there. People will treat you right, and just go anyway, no matter what. Do it.
Well, it's a good opportunity as well to talk about some of the real losers that have lost out on the last 2 years of not having an event, and that's the charities. And that's a great point, Mike, that we support 40 charities and over $200,000 a year going back to charity. And so just from that aspect, and they're worthwhile charities, it's not nationwide brands. They're local brands. And, they affect women, children, the underserved, the veterans, all those groups that we as a biker community say that we really hold near and dear to our heart. And so, that's one thing that we're going to try to crawl out of again this year is, even like in 2020, we were fortunate enough to get a raffle bike from Pig Trail and Harley-Davidson Motor Company, and we were able to raise $50,000. And not knowing the position we were going to be, the board went ahead and voted to make the $50,000 in donations to our local charities because we knew they were hurting as much as we were. So, we're firmly committed to our cause. So.
Somebody asked if there's a lot of construction. Do you know of anything that anybody needs to avoid in the area?
Yeah, so Arkansas Street is closed down downtown. But the great news is it's on the very edge of the downtown area, so it's not going to be hard to stay away from. 2nd Street and 1st Street both connect to 62, which runs from Kyle's place to Eureka and the Cathouse. And so as long as you're coming down 2nd or 1st, you really have no reason to get over onto Arkansas to begin with. That has been under construction. It feels like since Moby Dick was a minnow, but maybe sooner or later they'll get it finished up. I know that they've had some construction issues, all the things that we've gone through the last 2 years. The construction industry has as well, and so I think that slowed them down a little bit. But we're hoping 23 it'll be back up and running pretty quickly. But that is really the only place that is truly under construction that would affect traffic flow at all. And like I say, it's kind of a secondary road, not going to be a major thoroughfare, won't be hard to avoid.
I know last year there was right before was it around BBB time? There was they like put oil down on the Pig Trail and everybody was posting about it and stuff. And obviously you can't know every road in Northwest Arkansas and stuff, but you're always going to have some of that. They had, construction guys doing work in Lake of the Ozarks during Bike Fest. And I was like, what are you thinking? Putting poles up this week, but it is what it is. Some things just have to go on and have to get done. So
sometimes we end up being a secondary thought, right? Like we're not college athletics, and so sometimes they just forget that we exist. So,
well, yeah, I really want to thank all of you guys for getting on the stream, helping me get answers to questions, get them out to people. I think if nothing else, it helps people understand that what's out there is not everything. That's not the whole picture. There's more coming, more vendor lists coming, locations coming, more bands are going to be posted, more events are going to be happening. You're not, it's not like we're done and this is what we have.
No, it's really, if we're just being honest, this is just the beginning of where the real good information is going to start jumping off from. And so it's I think it's just going to continue to grow and be better and just, I always say this is everybody else's rally, right? This ain't my rally. I don't get to enjoy one minute of it. I'm working. And so if you've got feedback, come to me with feedback, but come to me with feedback of something that I can work on. And I used the example. I get some emails that are from some made up email address off the website and it says you suck. And it's like, well, how can I fix that? There's nothing for me to work with there. What we would like to see is constructive criticism, and say, hey, look, we enjoyed this. We didn't like this. We would like to see more of this. Because like I say, I kind of look at myself as the liaison between the attendee and the board and going to the board and saying, hey, I've talked to a lot of people and they're advocating for X, Y, and Z. And so it's important that I have good quality information to take back to the board and say, hey, yeah, that whatever, the structured cat fight that we hosted did not go that well. Maybe next year we'll do something a little bit more biker friendly. The barbershop quartet was not a hit. Maybe another, rock band instead.
Or the Wall of Death, whatever.
Love the Wall of Death. Yeah, they've got a great thing going.
First time I ever saw it was on Dixon Street.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Dixon, and so just so it's out there and clear, we knew we were going to leave Dixon Street sooner or later because of the cultural arts corridor that they're building down there. It was not going to last forever, and so I don't want to make this about a negative situation with the city or anything else. We knew we were moving sooner or later. It just happened to be sooner.
Well, and Dixon's still a great place to go visit, like Jeff said. So go to Dixon one night, go to Eureka, go to downtown Rogers. It'd be like going to Sturgis, Deadwood, Hill City. One other thing I forgot to mention, in Eureka, we've got the Harley demo truck coming back, so there will be 2 locations for the demo rides. So at Eureka Springs Harley-Davidson, then at one of Tommy's activations at the convention center.
I already knew that. I hit the demo truck up at there at Lake of the Ozarks and talked to them because they didn't have the Street Glide ST on the truck. And they're like, well, we'll have it down there. And I said, okay, I'll be looking for it. But somebody asked about, if there'll be a place to cruise. And I think earlier you guys kind of talked about, Eureka Springs is kind of, could be an alternative to Dixon Street. Do you anticipate there being a place, or is there going to be a place where people are going to park all their bikes, like at the rail yard where people can walk and at least look at all the bikes and stuff?
Yeah, so downtown Rogers as a whole is very connected, much like Dixon Street is on the bricks. And so tons of on-street parking down there. I met with the city of Rogers today, and they're actually going to set up bleachers downtown on First. And so that way it'll be north. It'll be between Pig Trail Harley-Davidson and the rail yard stage going north on First Street. There's going to be a viewing section there. And so I imagine that's going to kind of turn into the impromptu cruise strip, the same as Dixon has for years.
Right on. Well, that's this great information. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for getting on here, just sharing. I get that, probably a lot of this is something you were going to do anyway. And again, I think a lot of the anxiety, I've been getting questions for months about stuff, is, because there hasn't been a rally the last 2 years, people don't know what to expect. They're not sure if it's going to be the same, new location, or we're going to have the same kinds of things, what's going to be different and stuff. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to share that with my audience and, letting them know how hard you're working to make this an absolutely awesome event, just like it always is.
Yeah, be patient with us. We're an office, we're a staff of 2 here. And so, unfortunately, between health issues and other things, that we've had to be out of the office a little more than I would like the last month and a half, but we're both back and healthy and full time here. And so if it takes us a day or 2 to call you back, if you leave a voicemail, just bear with us. We're going to get everything caught up this week, and we'll be ready to rock and roll message wise. It's going to be good. If you got something you want to come and vend, call us. There's a limited amount of vendor space available left. It's very little. We've been overwhelmed with vendors this year, so that shows that there's an appetite and there's an excitement out there for the rally, and it's been great for us. Kyle's been great for Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. Just that relationship that he has with the rally, and then that relationship I have with him. Being able to call him up and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Is that stupid? And him telling me to say, yeah, that's stupid. Don't do it. So,
well, I don't want to keep you guys all night. We've been an hour, but if there's anything else you want to share, promote, this is your chance to get your voice out there, let people know. And all I can tell you is we're looking forward to it personally. We're bringing a lot of friends. We're going to have a good time. I will see, hopefully, all of you there somewhere.
Thanks for taking the time to have us.
Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it again. The plain and simple fact, Bikes, Blues, and BBQ is going to be as big as it always has been. It's going to be spread out. It's all about Northwest Arkansas. Go to Dixon Street. Go to your favorite places. Those businesses that support the biker lifestyle are still going to be out there supporting. Go to all your favorite places. Kyle's going to have merchandise, I'm sure, everywhere. We're going to have merchandise. Tom's gonna have merchandise everywhere. You've got a great group of people here that are throughout this. Not just us, not just the 4 people you see on here. You got the mom and pop businesses that have relied on you for 20 years now. The little restaurants that make that extra pie for you guys to come in when you get gas and get a free slice of pie. One of my favorite things, as you can tell by my big old gut. But I mean, this is a Northwest Arkansas family rally. Come up here, experience Northwest Arkansas, the best parts of the roads, a great Harley dealership, great people. Come experience Eureka Springs. It's some of the best restaurants in the world. The Bricks down on Rogers, been going on for 5 years. It's nothing different. It's bigger and better, though, thanks to Tom's help. Peter's always been a part of Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Quit listening to the negative naysayers. Bring your beautiful wife. Come have fun. Bring your friends. Let's party.
Hey, Kyle, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, I just saw that. So Eureka will have a hog set up at Eureka Springs Harley-Davidson. You can check in and get a pin there. And then at Rogers, we have a info tent in between the 2 flagpoles that you'll be able to get a hog check in there. And then at the demo rides in Rogers. So there'll be multiple locations for Harley owners group to check in.
And those demo rides will be at the Rogers Convention Center, right there off the interstate.
Next to Topgolf.
Well, somebody's over here smiling because she got her hog pin at Bike Fest, and so she's over here like, yeah. She got that 1 year of hog with that bike you sold her, Kyle. So she was kind of like, oh, I get a pin?
Hey, it's a pretty cool deal. If you haven't signed up, Firecracker, the hog mileage program, check that out.
Well, I think the legacy ride you guys are doing too is a great deal. Shit,
Yeah.
You got to win a Pan American motorcycle. I mean, but I think we're pulling out all the stops. I mean, I go to the rallies, man. We got some pretty big agendas here that we're filling up to already that have already been announced. Plus, Tom says there's more. Jeez, come on. I mean, let's do it, folks. The weather will be great. Everybody's excited for this. We're excited to have Bikes, Blues, and BBQ helping everybody out this year. So let's just run with it. I mean, no one got a book on how to deal with the bullshit the last couple of years. Excuse my language. There was no handbook getting out. We were all at bay by other people. That's over, folks. Northwest Arkansas is the place to be. It's the biggest rally, one of the biggest rallies in the country, and it grows every year. It grows because of the people, the roads, and the people that put stuff into this rally. Because it's effort. That's what does it here. And I go to all the rallies, folks. I travel around me. You see me around. I know somebody at most all the rallies. I've been doing this, riding a bike for 35 years. I also don't mix my words. If somebody deserves a compliment or I think that they do a good job, I'm going to say that. I believe in that. I'm not a bullshitter. I sit right up here in front of my restaurant anytime throughout the rally. If you've got any questions of me, you know where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I know that Kyle puts out a quality product. I know that Tom is doing his best to do whatever he can, as much as he can, as fast as he can with a quality product. I know that Mike is putting out a message. I know there's many YouTubers that are putting out a message out there. Come see us. Bikes, Blues, and BBQ is on, like Donkey Kong.
I don't think we can get a better ending than that, you guys.
Nope. Great
I'm
job.
sold.
Again,
Coming.
anybody that's still on the stream, which we've got a pretty big stream here, but anybody that's still on the stream, I just want to remind them, share this out. I know Tommy, I think, missed the beginning of it, but I had someone call me last weekend that didn't know the dates had changed and was planning on being there next week and have to call up and make the reservation change. You can't trust social media to get the word out. You put a post out, but you don't know that Facebook's going to show it to everybody or not. So no matter how you follow them or anything else. So just share this message out. Make sure your friends know. Make sure everybody knows when it is. October 5th through the 9th. We're going to go party in Northwest Arkansas and have a good time on 2 wheels.
Can't wait to see y'all.
All right. Thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
Thanks a lot, Mike. We'll see you later.
All right,
guys.
Okay.
Night.
Ciao.